this damn friendly neighborhood party.
Right on. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, and today I'm actually your friendly neighborhood Christmas stoner. This is a special sesh from Thoughts Off the Stem for Christmas Eve, because I thought it would be fun to do some Christmas stories with a twist. So this episode, instead of having the student glass, because it fucks me up too much to read, apparently, I tried this a couple times now, I figured what we'd smoke is the Grump, which is Good Supplies Monsters, like a 2-gram infused joint. Yeah, it's a cross between Alien OG and Green Monster. It is 42% THC. It's infused with... Does it say? No, but it's a hybrid apparently. So this is a little more conducive to reading Christmas stories. These are stoner-style Christmas stories. Some of your favorites, but with a little twist. So let's just get right into it, because let's be honest, that's why we're here, to laugh and have a good time and smoke a joint. So cheers to you on this Christmas Eve. I hope your year was great. I hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you're with family. I hope everything is going well for you. And if you're not with family, I hope you're making the most of whatever situation you're in. Cheers to you. I'm also drinking a little bit of the Kraken. It's vanilla, black spiced rum. I think it's got a little hint of vanilla. Anyway, it's about the only rum I can drink straight. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the whiskey I wanted. So let's get right into this. Let's start with Frosty the Snowman, just to ease us in. Frosty the Stoner was a jolly high guy, with a bong in his hand and a dab in his eye. He had shatter in his pockets and hash in his nose, and the frosty air made his concentrates glow. Frosty the Stoner is a legend, they say. He got baked in the snow on a cold winter's day. He hit up a rig, took a dab so divine, then puffed out some clouds just to pass the time. There must have been diamonds in that little dab, for when Frosty took it, he started to grab a blunt from his pocket, a bowl from his stash, and he packed it all up, ready for a bash. Gotta like that Frosty the Stoner guy, eh? Oh, Frosty the Stoner was a chill kind of man who'd pass you a joint and then say, "Take a hit, fam." He'd roll up some rosin, spark up in the yard, and laugh at the snowflakes 'cause he thought they were hard. Frosty the Stoner, he's the life of the show. He got edibles, gummies, and brownies to go. He'd nibble a cookie, and a smile he'd release. Then he'd munch on some hash, just to find inner peace. Down in the valley and up in the hills, Frosty would puff on some concentrates. Chills. He'd roll a big joint, and he'd sit in the snow, passing it round to the elves and the dough. Frosty the Stoner was always a blast. He'd blaze through the night and then nap through the past. He'd puff on his pipe and he'd dab on his rig, spreading holiday cheer with the point of his twig. But when the sun came up and the heat started to rise, Frosty just melted. No surprise. But don't fret, dear children, 'cause you'll always find that he's back every year with a stash that's refined. So Frosty the Stoner will always appear with his concentrates, edibles, and lots of good cheer. Just pack up your pipe, take a hit, and you'll see Frosty's still stoned, just as happy as can be. Yes, I think that one deserved a clap. I really like that one. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Dude, coming up with these was kind of fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take all the credit. I changed like a couple of the lines and all these and stuff like that, but I got ChatGPT to help me out. But I thought these were pretty good. Story number 2. The Three Wise Men. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, 3 wise stoners embarked on a journey, each with their own sacred smoking device. The first, known as Blunticus, rolled a mighty blunt as thick as a scroll and as long as a Netflix binge. His eyes were always half closed, but his wisdom came in the form of legendary smoke circles that could rival any ancient incense. The second high man, Bongus Maximus, carried a bong that was taller than most kingdoms' tallest towers. Every time he took a hit, the clouds of smoke could be seen from miles away, and his prophecies were often punctuated by loud coughing fits and an uncontrollable urge to find snacks. The third, Dabracles, was the master of concentrates. He carried a torch and a dab rig, which he used to extract the most potent of oils. His wisdom was potent too, though. Most of it came in the form of, "Oh, bro, did you feel that?" He could literally make a statement so profound that no one was sure if it was deep or if he just forgot to eat lunch. Together, they followed the glowing star of cannabis, which led them to the mystical land of Chronicus. There, they offered gifts of edibles, hash, and a lifetime supply of vaping pens to the newborn chronic messiah, ensuring that the world would always have weed and that no one would ever run out of munchies. And so, the legend lives on. If you ever see a puff of smoke in the sky, it's not an omen. It's just the three high men floating through the cosmos on a cloud of terps and dabs. Let's have a little pipe. Story number 3. A little more pipe. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, here we go. The Grinch. The Grinch hated Christmas, that much is true, but he really loved weed. Who doesn't? It's cool. He'd roll up some blunts, light 'em up with a grin, and smoke out his cave, puffing thick clouds of sin. His heart wasn't growing. It was stuck in a funk, from smoking all day and doing too many dabs in his bunk. He had bongs on the table, edibles in stacks, and a stash full of concentrates, no need for real snacks. One Christmas Eve, he thought, you know what I'll do? I'll swipe all the gifts while I get high, dude. So he crept down to Whoville with a grin on his face, carrying blunts, bongs, and a massive dab rig case. But before he could steal, he lit up a joint and took a huge hit, feeling chill and on point. He'd been puffing on hash when he started to laugh and thought to himself, dude, do I need a dab to relax? He swiped all the presents, the cookies, the trees, but kept the edibles. Those were the bee's knees. He munched on some gummies and took a puff, saying stealing's fine, but weed's the real stuff. The Who's woke up to find their gifts all gone, but they smelled the sweet smoke and heard the Grinch's song. He was chilling in the town square with Cindy Lou who wondered why bong hits were so freaking smooth. Handing out blunts, puffing away with a big old smirk. Merry Christmas, he'd say. He handed out cookies, but these weren't for munch. They were edibles baked with a potent punch. The Who's all took a bite, then looked at each other, smiling wide, saying, dude, that's better than Mother's. Now every Christmas, the Grinch isn't a grouch. He's sitting with the Who's on the couch with a pouch. They're smoking their bongs and sharing the love, and the Grinch's heart grew thanks to the green from above. So if you see the Grinch, don't be full of dread. He's just high as a kite and laying in bed. Now Christmas is chill with the high-flying crew because the Grinch found peace in the stash he smoked through. That was killer. Oh shit. I lost the whole cherry to this. Damn it. I didn't even notice. I am high as balls. Dude, 2-gram joint. That's what I'm talking about. Poop poop. Gotta put this bitch out. A little more pipe. Ho ho ho. Okay, here we go. My version of Elf. Buddy the Elf was on a mission, but not the kind of mission you'd expect in the North Pole. No, Buddy had a very important job. He had to make sure the world's supply of weed was top-notch for Christmas. And by top-notch, we mean premium blunts, top-shelf concentrates, and hash so sticky it could glue your eyelids shut. Buddy wasn't your typical elf. He wasn't just busy making toys. No, he was the weed elf, the North Pole's unofficial supplier of high-grade edibles and dabs. He was known to show up at parties, pass around pre-rolls, and help Santa get through the long night with some potent vape pens. One day, Buddy overheard a conversation between the head elf and Santa. "Hey Santa," the head elf said, "we've got a problem. The sleigh's engine is down. We can't deliver presents to the entire world unless we get some serious help. Santa sighed, adjusting his belt. I need my magic hash oil, and it's the only thing that'll power up the sleigh at this point. Buddy overheard this, and without skipping a beat, grabbed his bong, filled it with some premium flour, and took a huge rip. Did someone say hash oil? Buddy beamed, his eyes as wide as a dazed panda. I got you covered, Santa. But first, let's take a dab and get our heads right. With a twinkle in his eye and a backpack full of weed paraphernalia, Buddy set off for the North Pole's weed lab, the hidden workshop where the edibles were made. There, he met up with his trusty sidekick, a tiny reindeer named Bluntus, who was also known for his impressive ability to roll a joint with his hooves. Together, they began preparing the good stuff. All right, buddy, Bluntus said with a snicker. You sure this is the top shelf? Because last time we gave the elves dabs that were way too strong, they started arguing with the snowflakes about quantum physics. Buddy just grinned and pulled out a vape pen the size of a candy cane. Trust me, Bluntus, these edibles will get Santa's sleigh flying faster than you can say chronic. Meanwhile, Santa was getting impatient. He already finished a bong rip and downed a couple of edible gummies that Buddy had left out for him. He was starting to feel the good vibes kick in, but still, he needs his weed-powered sleigh. Buddy returned with a cloud of smoke and a huge smile. Santa, my man, this is going to be lit, he said, handing over a dab rig and a jar full of some of the finest hash the North Pole had ever seen. One hit of this, and you'll be delivering presents faster than a speeding joint. Santa took a hit, and suddenly, the sleigh's engine roared to life. The reindeer's eyes widened, and they started bouncing around like they just had the world's strongest edibles. They were ready for action. All right, buddy, Santa said, giving him a thumbs up. We're good to go. Now let's get this holiday lit up right. With the sleigh fully charged and everyone in high spirits, Buddy hopped in, ready for the ride of his life. They flew over rooftops, dropping off weed-infused presents and making sure every stocking had the perfect pre-roll. It was the best Christmas ever, full of good vibes, great friends, and even better weed. And from that day forward, Buddy the stoner elf was known as the true hero of Christmas, spreading weed joy, making sure no one went without a blunt, and ensuring that Santa had a dab rig to last for centuries. The moral of the story is, if you're ever stuck in the North Pole with a broken sleigh, just call Buddy. He's got the best weed, and he'll get you high enough to deliver presents to the whole world. Oh, I got a kick out of that one. Fuck, dude. Yeah, that one made me laugh pretty good. I don't know how you feel about it, but I liked it. Okay, so that was Buddy the Elf. We did the Grinch. We did Frosty. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I am so high. That shit got me fucked up, dude. Cheers to Christmas. I just smoked 3/4 of a 2-gram infused joint. How I'm reading this is fucking amazing right now. I know I'm not looking at the camera very much, but like, reading's hard. I'm high. I hope you're just enjoying the stories. Okay, here we go. A Christmas Carol. Marley was dead to begin with. There was no doubt about it. The weed business in his time had been a wreck. So much so that even in the afterlife, he was still dragging around chains made of vape pens, bong pieces, and crumpled up blunt wrappers. So on the night of Christmas Eve, a highly skeptical stoner named Ebenezer Scrooge sat alone in his apartment scrolling through the weedgram, frowning at the poor little weed shop on the corner that only sold shake and bad weed. He hated Christmas almost as much as he hated people, who mixed their dabs with vape juice. Scrooge was just about to light up a massive blunt when suddenly there was a loud bong rip from nowhere. Scrooge's eyes widened, and a thick cloud of smoke filled the room. "What the?" he muttered, looking around. Then out of the fog appeared the ghost of Jacob Marley, shackled in a mess of vape coils, resin-coated pipes, and sticky half-smoked blunts. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" Marley groaned, his ghostly voice as eerie as a weed dealer's text on 420. "I've come to warn you. Your obsession with profit has doomed me to wander the afterlife with nothing but bad weed and terrible bongs." Scrooge squinted. "What do you want from me, Marley? I'm just here trying to get high and avoid feeling feelings." Marley's chains rattled. "You'll be visited by 3 spirits tonight, Scrooge. They'll help you before it's too late. You've got to change your ways, or you will be just like me, trapped in eternal weed purgatory with nothing but burnt-out blunts and low THC concentrates. Scrooge rolled his eyes. Fine! Whatever, Marley. Go away. I'm trying to dab. And so Marley vanished in a puff of smoke. Before Scrooge could even get his dab rig ready, a bright light filled the room and the first ghost appeared, a glowing figure swirling with the essence of chronic. It was the ghost of Christmas past, looking suspiciously like a giant edible. Come with me, Scrooge, the ghost boomed. Let me show you your past. Suddenly, they were transported to a time when Scrooge was just a young stoner, sitting around with his best friend, Bob Marley, the actual Bob Marley. They were puffing away, talking about their dreams of owning a dispensary together and laughing over their blunt rolls. Ah, remember this? The ghost asked. Before you sold out to big weed corporations and started hoarding all the good hash? Scrooge looked at his past self, who was eagerly passing a bong around with friends. I had such a good time back then. What happened to me? The ghost raised a brow. You got greedy. The weed changed, and so did you. Scrooge sighed wistfully. I miss the good old days, but those dabs sure do get me high now. The ghost of Christmas present then appeared with a cloud of vapor so thick that Scrooge thought he'd gone blind. Let's go see what your future could look like if you keep this up, Scrooge. They floated to the present day where Scrooge saw his business empire, CBD gummy sales, low-potency cartridges, and overpriced pre-rolls. He was sitting on a pile of weed money but surrounded by lonely vape pens and faded blunts. Is this it? Scrooge asked, staring at his future self. The ghost gave him a sideways glance. Yeah, bro, this is what you really want, right? People laughing at your mid-tier strains and making fun of your shady edibles. You could be like Snoop Dogg, the real king of weed. Instead, you're stuck with these dried out leaves that even your dog won't eat, bro. Scrooge was horrified. No! No way! I don't want to end up like this. Please, I'll change. And then the final spirit appeared, the ghost of Christmas future. This one was eerily silent, holding a bong that was so large it could have been a weapon. The ghost didn't speak. It simply pointed to Scrooge's future. They saw a funeral scene. Scrooge's name was etched in the gravestone, and the only people there were a few disinterested stoners, passing around a joint that had clearly been left out way too long. Wait! Is that me? Am I dead? Scrooge gasped. The ghost nodded grimly and took a huge hit from its massive bong. No! Scrooge wailed. I don't want to be remembered like this, please! I'll change. I'll give up my cheap weed deals. I'll stop selling low-grade dabs. I'll make sure everyone has access to the best flower and bongs they deserve. I'll even throw a massive 420 party every year. Suddenly, Scrooge woke up with a start. It was Christmas morning. He'd been given a second chance. Without hesitation, Scrooge called his local weed dispensary and ordered the finest cannabis, the best hash, and even a top-tier dab rig. He went to the poor stoners in the neighborhood and gifted them all premium flour, edibles, and blunts. He hosted the biggest 420 bash the world had ever seen. And from that day forward, Scrooge became known as the chronic king of Christmas, spreading weed joy and helping others enjoy their smoke without ever worrying about low-quality pre-rolls again. Moral of the story? Don't be like Scrooge. Share the good weed, dude, or you might end up as a ghost in the afterlife, doomed to wander with a broken dab rig and a dusty bong. Right on. You know how many tries that took? A lot, dude, without fucking it up. That's why I'm staring at the words. I can't look and talk. Mama. Sometimes I'm dumb. It happens. But cheers to your Christmas Eve. All right. We're down to the last Christmas story, the most classic of all. Let's have a little pipe. Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. The final one. The last story. The most important one. The best one. The best one of all. The night before Christmas. We have to have it with the drink because it's the last one. This is where we end, folks. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the pad not a creature was stirring. It was time for a dab. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Ganja soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, visions of edibles danced in their heads. And Mama in her onesie and I with my vape had just settled down with talkies and cake. When out on the lawn there arose a clatter, I sprang from my couch to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew in a dash, tripping over my bong with hopes it wouldn't smash. The moon on the grass gave a soft hazy glow, as clouds of smoke began to flow. When what to my wandering eyes should appear but a sleigh full of concentrates and 8 tiny reindeer. With the little old driver so stoned and so merry, I knew in a moment it had to be the weed fairy. More quickly than hitting a dab, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Kush, now Haze, now Diesel and Skunk, on wax, on rosin, on hash and the funk. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now smoke away, smoke away, smoke away all. As dry leaves by the wild wind go, when they meet with a bong hit, up they will blow. So up to the rooftop the sleigh flew so fast, with a bag full of goodies and concentrates stashed. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my hit and was turning around, down the chimney St. Ganja came with a pound. He was dressed in hemp from his head to his toes, with a bag full of blunts, edibles, and fully packed bowls. A bundle of shatter he had flung on his back, and he pulled out a dab rig that was loaded with wax. His eyes, how they twinkled, his grin, how it spread. His cheeks were like cherries, his eyes glossy and red. He took the whole dab straight to the face, and was grinning like crazy in a happy old haze. The joint in his hand he held with great pride, and the smoke that he puffed blew out to the side. He had a round belly and a bag full of treats that shook when he laughed as he passed me the heat. He was chubby and plump and jolly as can be, and I laughed when I saw him. He was way too free. A wink of his eye and a flick of his wrist told me, "Bro, you've got to try this edibles last." He spoke not a word, but went straight to his job, filling all the stockings with nugs and rosin globs. He stopped to take a rip and hit a fresh bowl, smoking out the living room. Man, this dude had soul. He turned with a wink and fingers out too, and started to leave, yelling, "Peace to you, dude." He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a shout, and away they all flew with the smoke pouring out. But I heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all get high tonight." Yeah. Oh no, I thought that one was pretty good, dude. So that's this week's podcast. It was high versions of Christmas stories. Let's have a little pipe. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope, I hope you have a great holiday season. I hope you get a chance to get high. I hope you're high right now, because I'm fucking balls high, dude. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. I could have been doing this for 2 hours now. No clue. Don't know, but whatever. It's fun. I had a good time. I like reading those stories. I like trying to come up with those stories. And yes, I definitely had fucking ChatGPT help me out with writing those stories. But I hope you enjoyed the Christmas sesh. I hope you have a good holiday season. Until next year, we'll see you next time. And yeah, just enjoy your family, man. Have a good one. I hope Christmas and Santa's good to you. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby. I hope that was good. I felt like it was good. Did I read it good? I don't know. I don't know if I read it good. This joint is really good.
Lots of this stand in a neighborhood party.
Right on.